to the Metal Command Podcast.
Welcome back to the Metal Command Podcast. Tony here with you. And today I am here to talk about the two Bruce Dickinson singles off of his upcoming album entitled The Mandrake Project. And these songs are called Rain on the Graves, which is the newest one that just came out. And then, of course, you have Afterglow of Ragnarok. And I'm not only going to give you my opinion of the songs, but I'm also going to talk about the reactions to these songs on the Facebook page for the show. Now, I usually don't go by reactions on a band's YouTube page or website or whatnot, because they could be manipulated by said band. And with my page, there is no censorship. I don't care whether you like something or not. I like it when people react and give me their honest opinion. And again, this show is totally unscripted, and it is totally straight ahead, 100% honest, coming from me, as you know. So I'm going to first talk about the reactions to these tracks before I get to my opinion. And I'm going to be honest, they are very, very mixed. The reactions to these songs are very, very mixed. Some people absolutely love them. Some people think they're long and boring. Some people don't like the production. You know, it's not like, because I remember when Accident of Birth and The Chemical Wedding came out, and I remember getting the singles for those albums on radio, right? For radio. And the reaction to those albums, universally, everybody loved them. Now, part of that could be the fact that Iron Maiden was not putting out very strong material. Bruce wasn't in the band anymore. People weren't happy with Blaze Bayley. And when Bruce's solo albums came out, The Chemical Wedding and Accident of Birth specifically, people's minds went crazy. Everybody loved those records. And, you know, now he has a solo album coming out, and people like Tyranny of Souls too, don't get me wrong. But I think some of the hype of him being back in Iron Maiden took a little bit of the hype out of Tyranny of Souls. I think that's equally as good of an album as Accident of Birth and Chemical Wedding. It's just that the Iron Maiden stuff sort of overshadowed it a little bit. But now that people have been waiting for years for a new Bruce Dickinson solo album, the excitement and the expectations have been very, very high. But when you look at the reactions to this, they are very mixed reviews. The reactions to this, like I said, again, when I remember playing songs off of Chemical Wedding, when I ended up getting the single, I can't remember what the single was back then. Might have been The Tower. I don't remember now. But I remember that people went crazy for that. Well, now we have these two songs that Bruce has put out, and there are mixed reviews to it. And I'm going to give you an explanation as to why I think that is. So people don't like the production. There are people that say the songs are boring, they're long and too drawn out. They think the videos are cheesy. There are people that absolutely love it, which you're always going to have. You're going to have the diehard Bruce and Maiden fans that think they're going to be great. But I understand where the mixed reviews come from. When I watch these videos of these songs, you know, Bruce, it almost feels like he's going for a big theatrical story type thing, concept type thing, which I think I understand what he's going for, but most people are, you know, a lot of people aren't into that. You know, the long intro, the big storyline, the big theater aspect of it, you know, like where, you know, in Rain on the Graves, where he's kind of going into that, kind of looks like somebody from the Old West. That doesn't resonate with people as much. I mean, there's a reason bands like Arion, for example, aren't for everybody. Not everybody's into the whole concept album thing. I mean, they aren't. Now, granted, I know The Chemical Wedding was a loose concept based on the works of William Blake, but a lot of those songs didn't have crazy long intros. But a lot of people think it's boring, it's cheesy. And I've never heard anybody say anything like that about any kind of Bruce Dickinson solo stuff ever. I mean, granted, Skunkworks and Balsa Picasso had some mixed reviews to them, but they were very experimental. They didn't really sound anything like Maiden or anything like the albums that came after them. But these songs definitely have that Bruce Dickinson solo album vibe. I think they're probably closer to something that could have been off of The Chemical Wedding, in my opinion. But it's not vibing with as many people as you thought they would have. Now, keep in mind, folks, for those of you that are skeptics, for those of you that aren't liking these songs, I have said this multiple times. Record labels and bands in general, in my opinion, do a piss poor job of picking the singles for their albums. A lot of times they pick the weakest songs, and I don't know why, but I thought I was the only person that thought this, but they typically pick the weakest songs on the album to put out as singles. I don't know why that is. I said that about, the last Workhorse album, the band Workhorse, not a well-known band, but they picked 3 singles. 2 out of the 3 are two of the weakest songs on the album. So it's very possible, and at least I believe, that they probably might have picked the weakest tracks on the album. Now, as far as what my opinion is on these tracks, I think they're good. I think they are well written. I like the way Bruce sounds on the albums. I don't have a problem with the production. However, let me just say that I'm not listening to these things, and I'm not blown away to the point where I think it's better than The Chemical Wedding, or at this point, better than anything on Accident of Birth. These tracks aren't blowing me out of the water like those 2 albums did. I think they're good. But right now, if I were to go back and compare them to the last 3 Bruce Dickinson solo albums, I'm really not going to be saying, hey, I think these are better. I think they're good. But are they as good as what he did on those last 3 records, in Tyranny of Souls, Accident of Birth, and Chemical Wedding? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they are. So I'm kind of in between you people that love these tracks, and I'm in between the people that kind of find it boring and find these songs not being very good. If I had to pick between which song I like better, Afterglow of Ragnarok, I think, is my favorite of the 2. I just like the way the song flows. I like Bruce's solo. I like the songwriting on it better than Rain on the Graves. Rain on the Graves is kind of really cool chorus to it. It kind of builds up. It sounds like it's sort of narrated a little bit, with the way Bruce is singing through it. But I'm into stuff where you have this theater aspect to it, where you have this concept to it. The videos, I couldn't care less about the videos, to be honest with you. But I could see why there are mixed reviews to this. So, yeah, I mean, a little concerned. I still think the album is going to be good. But there are quite a few people with a very mixed reaction to these songs. Seriously, like I never thought that it would be mixed. I mean, the first song that came out, I think a lot of people, for the most part, liked it. The second song, Rain in the Graves, has drawn a lot of the mixed reactions and the mixed reviews. So again, I personally think the album is going to be good, but what I've heard so far is not really blowing me out of the water when it comes to whether I think these songs compare well to The Chemical Wedding or Accident of Birth. And unfortunately, because of the popularity of those albums, that is what they are competing with. You get these high expectations, and sadly, whether it's fair or unfair, people are going to compare this new album to those records. That's how it is. So I'm curious as to what all of you think. Leave a comment. Let me know. Do you like these songs? Do you like them better? Or do you not like them as much as, say, the last 3 Bruce Dickinson solo albums, which is really what people are comparing him to. Most people aren't really comparing him to the first 3 albums, which were, a lot different than Maiden. And, some of them are a little more experimental, especially with Skunkworks and Balls to Picasso. Let me know what you think, folks. Right now, my position is I like the songs. but I'm not so blown away by them where I think they're going to be, better or as good as The Chemical Wedding or Accident of Birth. Let me know what you think, folks, in the comments. But this is where I'm at. A lot of you agree with me on that assessment. And again, like I said, these could be for all we know, these could be the two worst songs in the album. You can go listen to the album and you're going to be like, damn, man, why did they put those songs on? I do that a lot. There's a lot of bands that put out singles, and then you listen to the album like, why did they pick those as singles? These are like the worst tracks on the record. Happens a lot. I don't know why that is, but it does happen quite a bit. My gut feeling tells me these are definitely not the best songs on the album. Which is easy for me to go by because most bands, again, as I've said, they usually don't pick the greatest tracks to put on a record. So let me know what you think. Do you think this album might be better than what we are hearing? Do you think this album is going to be a disappointment? Do you think that you like these songs as much or better than Accident of Birth or Chemical Wedding? Or are you underwhelmed by them? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. Stay metal. We'll see you soon.